So, hello everyone, welcome to our show, this is episode 14 of Kafi Poha Session and Celebrating Life series. And today we'll be talking about love for economics. So, economics is the topic for discussion today. And we have Rohit Venugopal coming on our show. So, Rohit is my nephew as well, and he's the youngest speaker who's come on our show. And I know him since he was born basically. So he's just half my age to be precise, and he's one of our relative or one of my cousin's son is based out of Delhi, the only relative we have in Delhi basically. And Rohit has done his economics honors from Delhi University, which is CVS College of Vocational Studies, and now he's pursuing MA in economics from MIT University. So yeah, I'm really fond of Rohit because the way he's passionate about what he's doing. So even if everybody's telling him this is not the way to go ahead, but he believes in his own heart that what he needs to do, he'll follow his heart whatever he does. So probably in the case of economics as well, to pick up a subject, because when I was with him, we used to be in Delhi, we used to tell him to take CA as a course or some other stream as a course. He was very adamant on picking up economics as such. So let me hand it over to Rohit now to say hi to you all.
So hi everybody, I'm Rohit Venugopal, and thanks Didi for a good warm welcome. And for the first time, someone is inviting me on such a live show, so it's really a good experience for me and very remembering. So as she said, I'm very passionate economics student, and I'm really looking forward to my scopes in economics. And I'm really here to tell you why economics is as a passion is really good for me, and why I chose it as a subject, and what is the scope for economics, especially in a society like India where we prefer science over commerce, engineering over economics, like that. Yeah, over to Didi.
Yeah, so it's good that you agree to come on the show, because very few people who, I mean, as young as you want to come on the show and talk about the subject like economics. So yeah, so let me ask you few details about your life. How has been your life journey so far? I mean, how from where you've done your schooling? If you can give our viewers and the audience a background about your growing up years, basically.
Fine, absolutely. So see, everyone's life is like a book. So my life is just like a book that is continuously running, with every page something new coming up. So till date, let me divide my life into three parts. First part, section A, let's call it like an exam. You have three parts. Section A, name is an average mediocre. So basically, from childhood itself, I was very weak in studies. Okay, my parents used to pull me up for studies, study this, study that. I especially remember my mom sitting with me for mathematics, beating me because I do so much of silly mistakes. My teachers used to complain a lot that he doesn't pay attention, and a lot of B1, B2. We have that grading system, right? So B1, B2, and all that. So let's summarize it: average or below average person. That's how you can define me till 8. So that's a Rohit that everyone knows, an average or below average. He doesn't participate much in anything, nothing there. Okay, he's just there to study. That's it. It's full of complaints. That's section A of our examination. Section B, it's very interesting, and I will call it miracle. Now, why is it a miracle? Because something happened, I don't know what. I got inclined to studying. I really got passionate to study. I really started to find love to my subjects. From nowhere, I don't know, I just started to like mathematics. Big in mathematics, and some 9.5 CGPA from around 7 or 7. That's what I used to score around that, but suddenly I scored 9.5. And from parents who used to pull me up, do this, Rohit, please do this, do this. For them, it was a miracle. Trust me. For me, it was, yes, many get it 10 CGPA. For many, it's less, but I know. But for parents, just think, who used to think that this child is pretty mediocre, he gets to 9.5. So, wow, they had no words about me. Third section, very interesting for me as well, is I would call it economics. Yes, economics. So beginning, why I took commerce. So when I get a 9.5 CGPA, as I said, plus I was inclined to studies, I initially was towards science as well, like many. Reason being, there's a tag, right? Science, you need to work hard. And I knew that yes,
Mm,
in my blood, hard work is there. So if you need to work hard,
mm,
yes, I will take science definitely. It was not because of I had a passion towards science, but you need to work hard there. Okay, I will be going there. But since I belong to a middle income family, my mom clearly said we don't have enough finance to make you an engineer because science requires IIT tag as well. If you don't get to an IIT tag, then it becomes really difficult. So please, I have a daughter, so we have to teach her also. So it's not only about you. So please don't take science. So okay, then I jumped to commerce. But
mm.
trust me, eh, something else was stored in commerce for me, and that's where economics lie.
Uh,
My my love for economics specifically came by 12th because that's where the core of economics was there, that is micro and macro.
yeah.
That was basic economics during my
Mm,
time. So right now
mm,
syllabus has quite changed a lot, but my time it was in 12th we studied micro and macro. In the
mm,
second half, after my summer breaks, suddenly the teachers changed, and my
mm,
God, my life also changed. I should say it basically
mm,
because a new teacher came in. My ma'am, basically Sukraj ma'am, she was what a teacher she was. I don't know. Basically, she was a teacher that was apt to me. I was a pretty
mm,
curious kid. I wanted to know more about things. I really
mm,
believe textbooks don't teach everything. You have to go
mm,
beyond textbooks.
mm,
So teachers taught in line to textbooks. I really thought, okay, why to study this till here? Why not go beyond it? But
mm,
this teacher really, taught me things beyond textbooks that really made me feel, okay, economics is really good. That's something that happened. Plus, second very big positive thing about my teacher is she was always there to help me. I'm a
mm,
person who has lots and lots of doubts. I want someone
mm,
to clarify my doubts. If you are having personally time with to spend, I will ask doubts and doubts, and you have to clarify it. I don't mind taking an hour or so. So
mm,
she was always available, and she was the first person in my life to say that Rohit, you have something in you in economics. You should
mm,
do something. So
mm,
she's basically in front of my parents in parents teacher meeting. She said she sees a diamond in me, and that was
mm.
literally a big boost for me to take that economic honors. And literally, I today also remember this, and on every teachers day I just drop a message, ma'am, happy teachers day, whatsoever, wherever I am, it's only because of you. Whatever you taught me, you gave me that vision that yes, you should go towards economics. And
Mm,
since I got that, she taught me how to develop an aim, how
mm,
to why to live. So when she taught
mm,
me how to develop an aim, I automatically built on that, and then I
mm,
came to BA Economic Honors, the main
mm,
reason. Then gradually I am here with MA Economics. That's the
mm.
three sections.
Three sections. So as you mentioned, yeah, teachers are very important. So yeah, so for me as well,
Yeah.
when I was in 11th and 12th, there was a teacher called Arul Raj, and later on she became a principal of the school as well. She's a person who taught us economics and made us love and fall in love with that subject itself. So economics is one of my favorites subject too. And also there's a law called law of diminishing utility. The first glass of
Right.
water, if you're thirsty, the first glass of water quenches your thirst more than the other glasses of water. That law, I don't know, I just love that law. And probably the graphs which is to make law of demand, law of supply, there are a lot
Yeah.
of interesting stuff. And probably I have taken my honors as well. I've done a BCom honors. So in honors also we have a lot of economics subject papers to write. So yeah, because I think because I had that love for that subject, so I was able to score well and I was able to clear my graduation as well. Although I have not attended many classes in my college, but because when you have love for the subject, you anyways you try to get the information and study for it,
Right.
and you definitely clear it. It's not necessary that somebody has to spoon feed you or give you an interest.
Hmm.
And I remember when I used to we used to visit you, or when earlier when you were studying, I have seen a change in you. You were a shy person when you were in till your teens, basically till your 10th and or 10th standard and all. After that 11th and 12th, I saw you as a curious guy, but still geek. I mean, in your own room, just in front of your computer. That's all I saw. But when I see you now, I've seen you as an evolved person who's able to talk to people much. So that's the gradual progress which I'm also looking forward to get built in for youngsters. So before taking giving you asking you for further details, I'll tell you an interesting story, because people like you have also inspired me to pick up or start this initiative called Nimitam. So what Nimitam is a Nimittam is an initiative which I recently started 5-6 months back. It's to, I mean, train youngsters or conduct workshop for youngsters regarding to life skills basically. So which is very important. So I'll touch upon life skills in the later part of our session as well. So the life skill is nothing but to help individuals learn to cope up with your hardships of life. There are demands and challenges in life. So if we know the life skills which are required to cope with those challenges, it's easier for youngsters to move ahead in life. So that's the reason, because when I see youngsters moving from one cycle to the other, not understanding, not confused, it's better to do workshops for them so that they get better clarity. So yeah, when I have seen your cycle of evolution basically, so it gives me more confidence. Yeah, people can change. It's just the way the way they look at things, the perspective has to be changed.
Yeah.
Somebody has to guide them to, it's not always your studies or your books, but it's about something to look at all. It's a balance between your knowledge, attitude, and your skills basically. That's
Right.
what even UNICEF says, that this is a behavioral development, so that you can balance between all the three, so that you get your clarity and your purpose in life basically at a
Yes.
very early stage, rather than reaching a very growing and reaching a very old stage and then realizing that this is what's my purpose. Better that if you can focus earlier in your stage, you get more time to
Right.
focus on it. Basically, the way you found your love for economics, people can find their love for whatever they want to do in life. It's easy for them.
Yeah.
So age is just a factor that some people realize it very early, some people realize it very late. It's just a matter of time. But at a young age, it's easy to mold people out into that kind of a
Right.
thinking.
Absolutely.
So now I'll ask you another question: is what does economics mean to you? So you told us your journey. So what does economic actually mean to you? Is just a subject, or what is it?
It's not a subject, but at the same time, not getting enough words to describe it. I will call it, it's my life. To be honest, that's the maximum I can say with economics, because everything, when I'm studying the subject, I try to visualize, because it's not about book only. There's no
Yeah,
point in
so,
studying economics into textbooks. You should be able to see what is economics in real life, what is happening outside. Let's say you're studying international economics. It's one of the branches of economics. It's not about studying, okay, tariffs are imposed this way, that way. You should know how US is imposing tariffs on China. What is the impact that US is having on China? What is it? How does it impact India? When you see these things through reading newspapers, reading journals, all these things, you get a better sense of what economics is all about. Because that book, we have many strict assumptions that this should not happen, this should not happen, this should not happen. But in reality, many things happen. Because most of the models in economics, what are models meant for? Models are meant to simplify your study. These are not meant, you can't replace your actual study. So just studying a model doesn't mean you know everything. You should just look into what's happening in the real world and try to connect it. Okay, I studied this model. This is how it is happening. So what was the reason that there's that divergence that is happening? It's why I'm not able to connect the model and the reality. So I understand, okay, this assumption is there. That's why it's not connecting. And you understand, okay, so all this leads to how you create your own model. You just allow you create your own models, you make your own assumptions, you understand, okay, this assumption you can remove it, it's not practical enough. That's how you should be able to connect things to reality, what you study. And that's something that I am doing a lot, connecting economics rather than just studying to books. You have to connect.
So do you read Economic Times papers and all, Financial Times? What is the kind of the literature you read so that you're up to date in your economics knowledge on economics as well?
So right, a good question to come up with. So basically, so as I'm a person who loves to learn a lot, so I personally felt, okay, I'm lacking somewhere in economics because I'm limiting myself a lot. So I felt, okay, what's the best way to improve myself in economics? How can I go more deep? Because book is not enough. Something is important, something I'm missing. So I asked myself what to do. Then I came up with, okay, let's even surround myself with economic news, economic things, so that I get more involved in economics. So first thing I did, okay, Economic Times is a pretty famous newspaper when you think about economics. So I tried Economic Times. So for the first time when I took it, I was not really able to understand anything. Bonds, stocks, every big things, big concepts. I have not come across anything. So I really found, okay, whatever I'm reading is totally different from whatever I'm studying. So
Mm.
reading, although you read, but if you don't understand, then technically there is no point. Then again
Mm.
searched a bit, okay, please tell me some newspapers that have good economics content, but at a low level, because the basic drawback of economic times is they use a lot of jargons. So if you are a shareholder, then technically you can understand economic times very well. But since I'm not
Mm.
involved in stock markets or nothing, it's really difficult to understand a yield curve. How does your repo rate affects the yield? All these things are
Mm.
a bit difficult to understand, not impossible, but a bit difficult at my standard. So what I did,
Mm.
okay, I again thought, what else, which is the next thing I can do? Not economic times, let's leave that, something else. Then I
Mm.
came across business standard. Okay, business standard, okay, good, let's take a sample. It was full of economic news. That's amazing, full of news everywhere. I don't want
Mm.
sports news, leave it, good. It was full of economy and public affairs, finance ministry, everything, something all about companies, the profit earnings, stock markets,
Mm.
unemployment rates, everything. And most importantly,
Mm.
not no technical jargon, so even I
Mm.
can understand it at my
Mm.
level. So this really helps me to improve my knowledge base of economics apart from textbooks.
Mm. So yeah, so that's interesting because at your age, when I look back when I was 21, your age probably, and I did not have this much of clarity. So I picked up CA as a course. If you know that I'm a chartered accountant.
Yeah,
So
right.
I picked up not because. And you keep asking me questions about when I used to be there, 11, 12, I used to ask questions about accountancy, bank reconciliation, and then all. I used to say, I'll tell you. So my inclination to take CA was at that point of time was that I was not financially sound. So one of the cheapest course was CA basically at that point of time, and that's the reason I picked it up. But why I completed is because I had a passion that with the CA degree I wanted a degree to make a difference, not to do the things in a traditional way, but to do it in a very different way. So that's what I've been experimenting with my own career. Although I'm into a finance field, I'm right now into a techno functional field. So I've been experimenting using my CA degree, not going the traditional route of practice basically, or getting into a pure accounting or finance. So you've seen me experimenting these things as well.
Right.
So yeah, but at that 21 years of age, I never used to read a newspaper. I never used to get these insights about all those different things happening around me because I was so focused on meeting my ends, ensuring that I have money to meet my expenses of my college or something stuff like that, and I was busy with that. But at that time, I was taking tuition, so I used to have students around me, 11th, 12th, and college students whom I used to take tuitions. What used to happen is they used to get newspapers from school. So they had
Hmm.
to read news. So they used to come and tell me the updates. So that's how I used to learn. So otherwise, I couldn't afford an Economic Times or a newspapers at that point of time because of my reasons for that. But my kids were there. So tuition ke liye, so they will always be tuition ka time. 5 minutes they used to keep every day for my updates. And similarly, when I started working, also I had good leaders in my organization who used to make an effort that at least 5 minutes when before once they're in office, they used to update with the news basically something or the other. What's happening around you, they used to do it. And see, similarly, when I started getting into teams and I had a bigger teams and all, I started doing that to give updates what is happening around us. The positive
Hmm.
news basically to know more about
Right.
our what's happening in economic front or finance world, so that everybody's updated. At least they're not looking at just a narrow vision; they have a much more wider vision as well. So
Right.
that's a good thing. You're reading papers because it will open your. It will give you better vision of things that are happening around you. So you will
Right.
grasp things. You will be able to correlate stuff rather than a textbook knowledge.
Right.
Now I know that you're doing your MA Economics from MIT University. So studying in Delhi University, coming to an MIT University, uh, and after doing a BCom on economics honors, you're doing an MA in economics. So how difficult is the studies in economics? Is it too difficult to cope up, or do you feel that you're enjoying that studies as well?
So see, the difficulty factor comes in with when you feel there is no passion. I
Hmm.
basically use the word difficult in my dictionary. I avoid these things a lot because it's a kind of negative feeling. Difficult, these things
Absolutely.
are, because once you stop using these words, once you use positive words, positive things happen. So I don't use
Hmm.
these words. But to
Hmm.
answer your question, if you are passionate about doing things, then
Hmm.
there's no difficulty. Now,
Hmm.
if I'm doing an MA, it's only because I have passion towards economics. So 3 years of grinding through DU, I would not say grinding. I enjoyed a lot. Then I have a good knowledge of that. I'm using
Hmm.
it in MA, so
Hmm.
it's easy to go. But yeah, MA has its own difficulty, as you said. Something new will be there, something
Hmm.
different. It will have its own challenges, but I am ready to face those challenges because I love economics at the end.
Hmm.
So that's it. There's nothing called difficulty.
Yeah. So what's the plan ahead? So what are you forcing yourself doing basically? So now after MA इसके बाद क्या करना है?
MA के बाद, yes, I am planning to go abroad. Something really
Okay.
different. That's something that is in my head. I want to go abroad and do an MA again in economics. It's
Okay.
something that is in my head, and I want to convert into reality.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, if there are opportunities, you apply for universities, prepare yourself really well, and get there. So there's nothing stopping you to do that. So you have to just prepare for it. Yeah. So all the best for that. So what do you want to become, a macroeconomist?
Not a macroeconomist, a renowned international macroeconomist. Let's widen it
Oh
a bit.
wow. Oh, good. You already have a good vision to move ahead, right? That's really good to hear that. Best
Yeah.
wishes that you need any support, any help, any information, feel free to let me know so I can connect you to right people. I may not be the right person to give you the guidance, but at least I can connect you to my contacts who are into the economics field, because I know people who've taken economics in my circle. They're actually crazy people. They're mad about the profession, and they can go hours talking about the way they feel about this subject. Basically, they don't call it subject, they call it as it's a feeling. Economics is a
Yeah,
feeling.
definitely. Subject
So they
kills
live
it.
with economics. Yeah, so it's like a
Yeah.
24/7 buddy kind of a thing. They live with economics, and it's that's the way they do it. So you should connect with those people as well, so that the passion which when the what do you call, when I see that the क्या बोलते हैं उसको, आंखों में देखते हैं ना, तो that your eyes lit up basically when you talk about economics. So you should meet those guys as well who are as passionate as you are, so that you will get inspired from them. They will be able to
Some
give you
This is
like
something that
insights, like
I'm technically lacking of, because the basic struggle when you're taking up with a unique subject is you are alone there. You don't find people around yourself. That's something everyone faces it, because see, if you're taking an engineer, you will find people around you in as many as engineers, so you can discuss a lot of ideas. We can do this, that, this. But a subject like economics, especially a master's, let's say BA for specific economic honors, is still reputable, but masters, very few go towards that who will have that passion. But I am not surrounded with the economics, these passionate people like you said. So I will be really happy if I am able to surround myself, because I can extract a maximum knowledge from these people, and I can orient myself, because it's all about getting an opportunity and pouncing on it.
definitely. So yeah, I'll see where I can get you connected with these people I'm in my circle. So yeah, Rohit, we know that you are fond of economics. So people, I mean, my audience would also love to know, apart from economics, what are your hobbies basically? Do you read? What's your favorite music, movies, or what you call your book, or any favorite sport you look at?
So okay, one by one. Favorite movie, since okay, I'm both Malayali as well as I'm living in Delhi. I will give a favorite movie, one in Malayalam and one in Hindi. Fine. So one in Malayalam is Susu Sudhi Batmegam, a Jayasuriya movie. Okay, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a good movie. Really love it. It's very inspirational.
What's, can
And
you repeat the name? What is the name?
Susu Sudhi Batmegam. It's about
Uh,
stammering.
okay.
You should watch it. Second,
Okay.
in Hindi, yeah, you would know this, Mission Mangal. It's again very inspiring one.
Okay, yeah. I've seen Mission Mangal. Mangal is a nice movie, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, good. That's about the movie. What about music? Do you listen to music?
music. It's always there. Music. It's because music is like an energy. Once you feel tired, just get along something like a Wink. If you have good apps like Wink or Savan. I'm pretty fan of old music, not a remix. I'm not a new gen. To be quite honest, I don't like the remix kind of music. Pretty old music like बहुत प्यार करते हैं हम, all that slow motion tracks. I like those things. And specifically, let's point out one specific music that I like most is "ऐ दिल है मुश्किल." title track.
Okay. Cool. And books, thanks to you, because you recently were looking for Kindle. Because of you, I also bought a Kindle, so I can read my books on my go as well now.
Books,
But
not a big
uh,
fan of reading very big, heavy novels. Not a big fan from childhood, but still, if I read books, there will be a purpose behind reading. I will answer. I will ask myself, why should I read this book? What's the point? So, the
mm,
basic genre that I'm interested in reading is a kind of self-help books that will
mm,
motivate you, inspire you a lot. So,
mm,
every book that I have read are my favorites. So, I'm
mm,
currently reading a book, How to Aim Big. So it's by David Schwartz, and you can call it my favorite.
okay. So that's interesting. So sports. So do you watch cricket? Which is your favorite sport?
Definitely, only cricket, nothing else.
I know. So cricket match is going on. I think the TV will only be showing that. Nobody else can watch anything else.
No, I restricted myself because, I if I first start following cricket, then I will stop following everything else. I'm not. See, I'm not a multitasking individual. I can only focus one thing at a time. I can't listen to music plus doing cricket plus studying economics because I like all these things. I will have devotion towards one thing at a time. If I devote too much, then I will shift the subject to cricket. And if I get again too much devotion there, then I shift to music. It's like jumping here and there slowly.
That's good. It's a good balance. You have a big mix, good balance of things where what you want to do, right?
Right.
So that's a good way of managing it out. So what is a life mantra which you follow?
Life mantra again. To answer these questions, you need to just be calm headed and you should just think about it. What is that life mantra go about? Specifically, life mantra is to, if you talk about me, it's about believing in yourself no matter what happens. Just
Mm,
believe in yourself. I know myself a lot,
mm,
especially I would see for everyone, COVID has brought a lot of troubles and everything. But me personally, I'm not working. That's why I don't realize the hardships. My parents do realize what are the hardships, but since I'm sitting in home, I don't realize that much. But one of the positive impacts that COVID had is it gave everyone a time to think. When everyone
yeah.
got locked down to home, everyone got some time to think.
Mm,
Even you are coming across many things like pollution levels came down. Everyone are thinking whether it's good or not to drive
mm,
cars and all these things. They're able to see animals around. Similarly, I also got time to introspect myself. Okay,
yes.
how can I improve? What is the basic drawback in my personality? Where is that thing that I can showcase the world? All these
Mm,
things, because
mm,
pre-COVID, what was the scenario is your life just moves too fast. You have no time to think. You have no
mm,
time to invest in your own self. You have time for others, definitely, for your job,
mm,
everything. But there's no time for personality development, no time for self introspection, which are very vital for your own personality development. So COVID
yes.
definitely gave me an opportunity to introspect myself, to develop myself better. How I
Mm,
understood how to present myself in front of others, and all these
mm,
benefits, they're multidimensional. So the list will not be exhaustive.
mm. So yeah, you're right. Introspection is really a big word. So everybody got that opportunity. So for myself also, for me also, I have gone through a self-introspection journey. I tried doing a lot of things like writing a book, for instance. I was able to do that. I was able to spend time with myself, which is never happening. You are in the rat
Right.
race basically, right? When you're working, you're going to your office in your personal course, you're busy in a routine. And then when I took a break just to travel, again I was in a routine of traveling. Then after that I was stuck in Bangalore for a while for 9 months. That's the time you I got time actually to spend with myself. So it's very nice to know more about yourself, and sometimes you surprise yourself. That is also there.
Right.
You limit yourself by thinking ये नहीं होगा, but later on you yourself realize that yeah, there are things which you're capable of. Only once you know yourself better that you can understand it. So I totally agree. Introspection is really important. So yeah, So now we'll talk about life skills. So I was in the beginning I told you that we're looking at starting workshop for youngsters basically. So life skill is really important. So these chat shows or individuals who are coming on these chat shows, I'm taking inspiration from the life story so that I can make case studies out of it or show them as a story to people who will be coming on those workshops or when I'm conducting those workshops. So these are very important. So I want to know what is the one of the important life skill which you feel is necessary in life. I mean, according to you.
Definitely, I have one in my head. Definitely, I use it every day. In fact, every moment, I would say it. So see, as you mentioned in the beginning itself, that I have chosen an economics course who believe, and I'm a person who, although accepts criticism, but still I have my own ideas. I go forward with that. So for a person like me who has chosen a course like this, who believes in himself, who has his own ideas, what to do, who has his own vision, it's really important to protect his own ideas, because suddenly if I come up with a new idea, it's very rare that 99% will do, they will laugh at you. only one
Absolutely.
person will think Only one person will think at your idea, and 99% will laugh at your idea. So it's not necessary that you will come across the one person. So 99% you will come across that population, they will laugh. So that shouldn't kill your idea, that shouldn't kill your belief. So it's very natural that everyone wants a praise, everyone wants motivation, everyone wants someone to listen to them so that they can understand. So what I do is, since I know that there aren't much people who can listen to me, who can suggest me rather than changing me, I need people who can suggest, who can aid my idea, not to change my idea. I don't want people who say, okay, this idea is wrong, it's not possible. I want people who can say, okay, this idea is possible if you do this, this idea is possible if you do. I'm looking for those kind of people. So what I do, if in in subject to these criticisms, when I'm getting these kind of criticisms, what I do is to keep myself motivated. I talk to myself. I just give a pep talk. Okay, Rohit, first of all, you should do this. Okay, what are you getting this? Why are you getting this wrong? Are they doing? Why are they criticizing like this? I ask myself, because I believe if your heart gives you honest answers. Your heart never lies.
Absolutely.
So I
Yeah.
just ask myself, why are they doing like this? Then I get the answer. Okay, they're doing like this because of society pressure. Why are they doing like this? Okay, they're doing like this because everyone is doing like this. Okay, should I do that? Am I right? Yes, I am right. I get the answer. So then I again get that motivation to stick to that idea. Then next time I again try. Okay, please do this with this way. Now I try with a different fashion, because I have understood a bit that I should deal with that person in this way. Because I ask
Absolutely.
myself, what went wrong in presenting? Then I go to that person. Okay, so sir, please do this with this. I do something different this time. Okay, he gets convinced. Somehow he gets convinced. So he gets the idea going. Then I understand. Okay, it's not about my idea is wrong, it's all about believing in your idea. And the best way to believe in your ideas, your skills, is to talk to yourself. Because in this fast moving world, you will rarely find people who will listen to you, who will always motivate you, who will always praise you for your small achievement. And when you get praise from your small achievements that my teacher initially gave me in the very beginning, due to which I am here, you can do one. So motivating yourself, give a pep talk to yourself whenever you are alone, or whenever you feel that the society around you is not that conducive for your idea. Just keep on motivating yourself. That's it. You will just go through anything.
So Monu, so yeah, Rohit, I call you Monu at home, so that's the reason the word came out. So Rohit, one thing I want to tell you is like this is a little special episode because till now we have not been talking about life skill topic as such, because we've been talking to different individuals people who've come in my life and we share their journey. But because I'm doing it for youngsters, and youngsters are basically people at your age. So life skill education is really important from a if you look at it from a UNICEF, UNESCO, and WHO perspective. They also emphasize on the topic called life skill education. What they say is that it is an ability for adapting a positive behavior, so that an individual is able to meet to cope up with the demands and challenges of life. That is what life skill actually means. This is so important. And what they say is it can be categorized into different types. For example, it could be your thinking skills, which is which is being creative in your, being creative, being critical, being able to decide. That is one aspect. The second is social skills, which is very important. Effective communication, there's interpersonal skills so that you can communicate really well. And the third one is emotional skills. Emotional skill is so important. It is how to cope up with the stress, basically cope up with emotions. Somebody may come and say something which may disturb you. So these are all important important things apart from your studies at in college, school, or wherever you are. It doesn't, these life skills are so important. It doesn't have to do anything with your education. You may be educated, but you may not have the right, not developed your life skills, so that if somebody says something to you, you're down, and you
Right.
lose your confidence, basically, and that should not happen. So another thing which beautifully that UNICEF also puts it out is that it's a balance. Rightly, it's a balance between your skills, your attitude. Basically, these are very important thing. Your knowledge as well. You might be having a knowledge, you might be having an ability, but if you're arrogant, what matters? You will not. You have to be, humility has to be there, kindness has to be there. So these are very important attributes which an individual needs. And and learn, you can learn it at any age, but when you learn it at a very young age, it becomes part of your character.
Right.
So that's why I
Absolutely.
thought that's the reason I thought of this idea of doing a workshop, because you've seen my parents, my father and my mother, they were involved in a lot of NGOs, and they were not helping out other people. So it has never come into light because they never publicize it, or they talk about it, because they do it from their heart, because they feel good about doing it, and they've been doing it for a long time, not for money. It's for the heart content they used to do it. So probably I want to take it to the next level, where I want to ensure that right people reach the right audience to impart this knowledge, so that we can make a difference to people's life.
Right. It's a really good
So
initiative because really few take it and you're doing it. It's amazing.
yeah, so yeah, I also, that's another thing I wanted help from you guys, is people who are coming on the show, is I wanted, in case I need your help in stating your stories and telling the stories to these, when I'm conducting workshop, I might ask you to come and share your experiences. Maybe a 5-minute chat or a pep talk, which you do it to yourself, you can do it to those youngsters. It will help them to know how it is to be done.
Right.
Sometimes people need a model, basically, because if you have gone through a bad experience, or you've evolved from a shy person to an outspoken I mean, the way you were, and how you become, your journey has been commendable, because I have seen you not speaking at all, an introvert to an extrovert. So those kind of changes helps people to relate to the other person, and they feel कि यार वो कर सकता तो I can also do it.
Right.
So because we are all at the end, we are all humans who can do commendable things, who can outstanding things at with our own skill sets, basically. Each one is a
Right.
hero in his life. So that's why I keep saying everybody contributes in some way or the other to the table, to everyone, to somebody or the other. You may inspire someone else. Even you're
It's
able to
only
inspire
about
one person also, it is enough,
yeah,
right?
right.
किसी को तो कुछ तो फर्क पड़ा मेरे होने से, तो it's more important that, right?
Right.
So when I was your age, I never had a life mantra. मैं तो दिल की सुनती थी बाबा. So whatever comes to my head, I used to do it.
Very
Whatever makes
few
my
have.
heart flutter, I do. You know that I'm an exception everywhere. So you see my life, I don't follow what the society tells me to follow, right? I don't do it. So I don't study things which people tell me to do. I have been an exception when in my CA career also. I was the first female in my CA firm. We never had a female in the office that time. So I mean, I've been so I've also been taken decisions where I'm the only one who's doing it. So I've been not following the norms as well. And right now also I am at the peak of the career. I took a sabbatical to travel, basically. So all those things I do what I feel like doing, because it's just one life we have, and we have to live it to the fullest, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
whatever makes you happy, whatever makes your heart flutter, do that. That's what I keep telling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think now we are going to come to an end of our chat show as well. But something more I wanted to know is, what do you want to tell the youngsters who want to pursue economics? For example, there are a lot of people, science नहीं लेते, commerce ले लिया, commerce लेने के बाद they are not interested in accounts, they are not interested in maths. ठीक है? They want to take up economics, but like you were in a confusion what to do with economics. You got a good teacher who was able to guide you and pursue there. But what do you want to tell the younger people who are coming into this field of economics? What do you want to tell them?
So first of all, economics as a field. So for any field, this is my suggestion is true for any field, not only for economics. Know why you're doing that field. First of all, you should know why you're doing it. Don't run behind the society regarding what you can do, because at the end of the day, results will be in your hand. Society will not come there and help you out. They will only question you. Why didn't you achieve it? They're only there to question. That's it. So coming to economics, specifically my parents themselves said, okay, you're doing MA. After that, you can crack NET, and then you can become a professor. But personally, I had the feeling, no, yeah, I have done 3 years of BA Economic Honors from Delhi University, which is said it's very tough. Fine. Now I'll be doing through 2 years of MA, so 5 years. Then okay, 1 year for NET, let's assume. Then I'm getting a professor job. Then, okay, why did I struggle for 5 long years to just become a professor? Why I'm trying to score too much to just become a professor? Because after becoming a professor, what will I be doing is I'll be teaching the same subject. Let's say I'm getting in a government institution. Let's say, so I'll be teaching the same subject, same topics again and again for the next 20-30 years. It's like getting that flavor. I am having a flavor of economics right now because things keep on changing. I get introduced to new things, all these things. So, professor is not a good job enough, because even if I get into a professor, I will get a syllabus, because I as you know, the syllabus don't get updated with time. Today also, it's 2021. We are in Delhi University itself. We are dealing with the syllabus of 2014 or 15. So 5 years old syllabus. So I thought, okay, let's say syllabus gets updated. So I will be teaching the same thing again and again. How mad is that? Why should I invest my 5 years to be just a professor? So I just thought, okay, what are the other prospects? So then I thought, okay, why can't I become a researcher? Because researcher as when I say researcher, it's not about a PhD research as an occupation. Because something what suits me is curiosity, observation, and these skills suit a researcher as well.
Absolutely.
That's the other thing, that how popular it is. I don't run behind popularity. I run behind my own interest. So research is one of the areas where you can go. Second is forecasting. Forecasting is something that very few pay attention to. Let's say if I don't know if you're reading newspapers, we have forecasts regarding, okay, Indian economy is going to grow by this much, 6%. Or let's say not Indian economy, your business might grow by this much. Who is doing this research as such? People don't think who is doing this. Okay, no, someone is doing. So they are not concerned of who is doing, how do they get it, but some degree of knowledge is required, right, to forecast future, depending on what you have right now. So econometrics, data analysis, all these fields related to economics, they can help you to become a good forecaster. And you can get into companies like ICRA, Investment Credit Rating Agency. Plus, you can get into Moody. These are like top rating agencies who project the economic growth. And if you have interest, trust me, you can easily go much ahead. It's just like, if you ask a scientist what all things you can do, what can a scientist do? He can teach. Definitely, he can teach. Can he invent? Definitely, he can invent. He has many capabilities. So, as an economist, or you become something, you develop many capabilities to do many things. So, don't limit yourself to just teaching. Just think beyond.
Yeah. Explore, right? Go beyond the normal. You have to expand your knowledge, expand your horizons. Basically, to think beyond. Because people always think economics teacher ban jao, economics professor ban jao. There is so much to it. I mean, research is such a big field. I mean, if somebody wants to bring out new innovations, you're very, very right in saying that it's better to look at the knowledge which is around you. Then only you will get to know what is happening. So nobody goes beyond, kuch bhi newspaper mein padhte, nobody goes beyond what is happening. Kisne kiya. They only read the news. So who's working on it, nobody knows about it. Which kind of qualified person is working on it, nobody knows about it. So,
they don't value the behind-the-scene jobs. That's it.
So this is the question. This is normally which I ask everybody who comes on the show. What is the takeaway from your life which you want to share with others, basically?
I'm basically having a never say die attitude with me. That's something that I like about myself. It's like there are two sides of a coin. So in your life, there are two ways, according to me. Either there is an obstacle. When you see the obstacle, change your path. That's one way. Second way that I choose, remove the obstacle from your path. These are two ways I believe that exist. I believe in the latter one. So whenever there are obstacles, life is meant to be difficult. That's true. So okay, let's meet that obstacle, because once you overcome that obstacle, you will become a better person. Because no human is perfect. You always have a chance to improve yourself. So overcome an obstacle, you will become better. So never say die attitude is something that I carry with me. Whatever people say, let them say. I will stick to my goals.
So when an elephant walks, dogs keep barking. So elephant just walks, right?
Yeah,
That's the
that's
same.
it. Results
You
show
don't have
up.
yeah. So yeah, you have to. I mean, it's a way the way you put in that you follow your intuition basically. So I also believe gut tells you everything. So if
Right.
the entire world is wrong, even if your gut tells you're right basically,
Yes.
because your gut knows you better than anybody else in the world. So
Right.
if you are able,
Absolutely.
more you spend your time with yourself, more aligned you become to yourself, you'll be able, your inner compass will tell you what is right and wrong. So
Right or wrong.
whoever who's knowing you from even since 20 years or 30 years will not be able to judge the right thing for you. You are the right judge for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Rohit, it was really nice having you on the show. So let me check the viewers basically. If there are any questions, let me say hi to all those viewers as well. So our audience basically, just hold on, okay? So there are a lot of people. So yeah, there is Suma, there is Govind. So somebody said Govind has said Rohit bro and all. Sin, there is somebody called a lot of Mandeep is there. Hi guys, hi everybody. Thanks for watching this chat show. And there are no questions as such. Hope you guys loved the topic economics and the love for economics. Both of us love the subject. I think he's more passionate to economics than I am, because I'm more passionate about my profession, which is CA, and the other things which I do in life. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this chat show. Let's catch up next Saturday for another candid conversation with another interesting personality. I'm not naming the personality now. You'll get to know in my teaser video next week. And it was great having you in the show, Rohit. And hope you enjoyed the tidbits which I shared about the life skill in this episode. So now going forward, I think we'll be sharing something more about life skill, so that you get to know what life skill is all about. And in your day-to-day life, you can incorporate this life skill education for yourself and the people around you. So it is nothing to do with your basic education, qualification, or whatever you are doing. Life skill is much beyond that. It helps you to cope up with life in a better way. So cope up with your emotions, stress, or having a good communication, articulation skills. So all these are very important in life. So hopefully I'm able to give you more tidbits in my upcoming episodes in the future. So bye for now. Bye Rohit.
Bye.
Thank you
Thank you.
everyone for being there. See you.
Yes.
See you
Thank
next
you so much.
Saturday then. Take care. Bye.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye bye.